Oh, yeah, thank you.
You see Gayla in the hallway or anything, Jim?
Yeah, that's what I was asking for.
Yeah, we do,
Well, I said fine, but for,
yeah.
that,
Yes, sir, we do.
Has anybody heard from Gayla?
Who?
Gayla?
Her car was there when I left in the driveway. The house was dark.
not all of them say that.
Right,
It's
it's a hot.
it's a crap, just a crapshoot.
Like everything else. I got carried away in 2025, didn't I?
We're live, by the way.
No, I didn't do that.
No, I did that. That was me.
I did that last time, but the clerk complained about it. I haven't done it for this time. What'd you hear about this stuff? You know I'm about it, what did you hear about it?
Is,
No. Probably not
just,
Hey, are you coming?
that they had opened. That
Do-
they had opened.
Huh?
I saw that at
No, we got 5. Okay. All right, bye-bye. She's coming.
No. I hope not. Well, no, no.
Right.
I mean, yeah. Very nice.
Well, you got that RV winterized, we got.
Did that quite a while ago.
Well, about 3 weeks ago. I wish I wouldn't have.
Yeah, if you don't be like this,
Yeah.
could win somewhere next week.
What's the weather gonna be next week? I haven't even looked. 60s?
60s and
70s
70s.
on Christmas.
Really?
Really?
Well, it wasn't, it was about 4 or 5 Christmases ago that I would have felt comfortable going out on the lake. It was so warm.
It's supposed to be pretty warm this year. Or, so they said this week.
I don't know how warm the lake would be.
That's true. I probably do.
Not going out on the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Not swimming, just going out on the boat.
She wants to ski a little bit.
Is he a skier?
Really?
70 years old. Still water ski.
I never could really do it.
I can do.
I drive the boat.
What kind of boat you got?
I got a pontoon boat.
That's a, we got pregnant and I sold that boat. It's just gonna take up all this room in my shop. We're not gonna get to use it, and so I can't wait to get another one.
The boy gets a little bigger, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I never had any trouble getting out of the water, I just had trouble getting out of the water in upright position.
That's funny you say that. I had the same problem.
I just wasn't any good at it. Ski. Couldn't do it.
Now, what's that?
Water skis.
That knee board or whatever? Boy, I used to be real good at that when I was a kid. No, no.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you got one. Anybody in the audience like to read this? Here you go. Anybody else? I just need that back to give to Rhonda. Feel free to pass it around. Something that Councilman Rojas has presented us. Here's a copy right here.
You.
Hope it does.
If there's any I don't have any idea what it is, so.
Jimmy, you want to hand that to Hicks? Still nothing.
Hello, everybody. Apologize for being late.
Will you
I was
pass that
sound
over
asleep.
to her? It's just the agenda.
I know it's allergies. I don't have COVID.
You're good. That may be passed out. And here's the agenda.
I'd like to call this City of Wagoner special call business meeting December 17th at 6:14. All counselors accounted for, minus Shane North and Renee Thomas.
Item number 1, consider adoption of a resolution approving action taken by the Wagoner Hospital Authority, authorizing issuance and delivery of a promissory note by the authority to Blue Sky Bank in the total aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $1,400,000, waiving competitive bidding, approving and authorizing the execution of a loan agreement, approving and authorizing the execution of a security agreement, pledging a certificate or certificates of deposit as collateral for said note, and containing other provisions related thereto, or take other action.
Council, before we start discussion, I would like to open the floor for public comment, if you all do not mind. I feel like we work for these folks, and they have the right to speak their mind on this issue. Does anybody have an issue with that, as long as it's in a timely manner? Would anybody like to speak? Yes, ma'am. Oh, gotta turn that mic on. Oh, it's on.
Hello,
And you can adjust it. Will you state your name, please?
sir. I'm Haley. I'm an employee of the Wagoner Community Hospital for a little over a year. This is my first time being here. I did write down a couple of points. Not only are these points from my peers, my coworkers, people who might have not felt comfortable coming to speak here today. I, however, don't have that problem. And I'll try not to take up too much of your time. Number one, obviously I do believe this hospital is detrimental to this community. Over the research that I've done from the Wagoner Public School website and the stuff that's been provided by the city, approximately 84% of the poverty rate in Wagoner that only counts counties, or excuse me, that's only counting families and children in school. That's 84%. I don't know about you guys, but that's quite a lot. Our community is smaller with various populations, including elderly who cannot travel if you do not have a hospital within range. Neither can their family members and or provide support. We know a lot of the people that will, if this were to close or not be here, they would be either going to the outlying areas, Tulsa, Muskogee, Pryor, etc. And they use CATS bus, rideshare, lots of different transport because they don't have any. The money expenditure in other counties, if this place weren't here, this means gas, food, groceries, hospital care. They wouldn't be coming to us for that. Not only is the community going to be losing, everybody would be taking the downfall here. People that live and work here in the community, and especially at Wagoner Hospital, approximately, there's well over 200 employees that work there, as you guys know. If this place weren't here for them to have a job, where are they going to go? How are they going to get there? I currently work only in the mental health department, which I'm not sure if you guys know. We have started a program. This is the nation's first forensic tribal program, which has already shown in the short few months that it's been here, large improvement. The patients that were at previous facilities to try and get stabilized for competency to attend their hearings and trials and whatnot. For 4 months, they sat in a separate facility, got the same treatment that us and Dr. Sengel are providing with zero outcome. In a month and a half, we've already declared 4 people able and competent to do what they need to do, restored to mental competency. They service the entire state of Oklahoma, our program does. We take from outlying communities, even out of state referrals if necessary. We got the Cherokee Nation contract, as well as the Chickasaws, I believe, or did I say that right? Chickasaws, okay. Which I don't think we've had anybody from them yet, but it is very, very promising. Dr. Sengel is a wonderful little lady. She has been the physician for your mental health unit for 30 plus years. In 1990, she was here part-time. In 1991, she came on full-time. She is very devoted, and she truly does care about her patients. And I very much see positive outcomes coming from that. And if this weren't here, whether that be for our outpatient detox services or for strictly our behavioral health unit, it's going to be hard on this community. And another point point to mention. Say we don't have a hospital here in Wagner. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it is 2 EMS trucks that we currently run. If there is no, 3? Thank you. If there is no hospital for them to be taken to, say you're running all those trucks, God forbid, have to have a call at the same time. What does that look like? People, if they're not allowed or can't drive themselves to our emergency room, you got 3 trucks and a bunch of people in a town. I don't know about y'all. I wouldn't want my family members waiting on life-saving care or stabilization. We are a stabilization, a crisis mental health unit. We have an ER. You know what I mean? So I think what I'm asking here for today is another opportunity. I wouldn't be here, I don't think, if I didn't believe that our staff or administration is willing to make right what needs to be made right. And I think that they have the drive to do so. So I'm really hoping that on behalf of me and my peers and my coworkers, that we would truly think this decision through. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else care to speak? Ma'am, would you please state your name?
My name's April Watkins. I have been a employee at Wagoner Hospital for about 15 years, I think. Yeah. And everything, I just wanted to echo everything, Ms. Haley. I mean, she's been with us for a year. And you're talking about a hospital that has many people that have been there 15 years.
27, 13.
See? I mean, you're going to find that everywhere. And she's exactly right. If we didn't have that hospital here, people, it would suffer, the community would suffer. Not only in revenue, but also in services. Services that are vital to this community, vital to the Lake community. And I know someone's going to say, you know, we're just, 35 minutes from Tulsa? That's a difference. That makes a difference. And like she said, yes, it is life-changing. I've seen it many times in the ER. And we all care very deeply for this community, or we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have spent my 15 years there, 30 years, 10, 20, you know, and there's quite a few. There's 238 of us that are like that, and over half of us live here, have grown up here, and put back into this community. So I just urge y'all to really consider the decisions that we're making today, please. Thank you.
Thank you, April. Would anyone else care to speak?
I'm not much of a speaker, but I will. My name's Sherry Bush. I have been at Wagoner Community Hospital in the radiology department for 27 years. We have been through a lot, our ups and downs, but we do provide a service to this community. I do not personally live here. I live in Fort Gibson, but I've traveled here every day for 27 years. I've given 27 years of my life to this place because I believe in it. We're a small community. We offer things that bigger hospitals, the care, the personal care. They're not just a number like at bigger hospitals. But I mean, we are a point. Like she said, if we only have 3 ambulance units, if your dad's over here having a heart attack, they're working a car crash, and this pregnant lady went into labor unexpectedly, what are you going to do with all these patients? I mean, they're going to drive 35, 40 minutes in traffic to try to get to a hospital for medical care. I mean, and we bring other outside sources in from the radiology standpoint. We have other doctors from other towns that send us, you know, patients. Those patients are going to have to find somewhere else to go also. It's just not our community here. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ms. Bush, I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever eat at any of our restaurants in
I do.
Wagoner? Do you ever go to Walmart when you get off?
I do.
Do you ever buy gas in this town?
Murphy's is my stop. Twice a week.
If you didn't work here at this hospital, do you think you would come to Wagoner for those things?
I would not. But yeah, we come through, this is off point, but I have a grandson that races out at High Banks. My family comes through here, we stop and eat, we buy our gas, we do all of our things, But I mean, we do. I come here every day. We eat out every day. My husband comes up sometimes if I have to work late and meets me, and we eat dinner here in town instead of driving to Muskogee. So,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ms. Bush. Would anybody else care to speak?
I'm Brandy Moore. I'm the chief nursing officer at the hospital. And I started here 13 years ago, and I built my career in this town. I've built my nursing career at this hospital. There's 2 girls that are with me that are my family members that are also employed by this hospital. So, what you said, 80% of my money is spent right here. When I went Hanukkah and Christmas shopping, it was done within this community. My husband gets his health care here. I get my health care here. My kids can get their health care here. And like Sherry said, my husband comes up here and meets me long hours when I have to work late to have lunches, and we spend a lot of money in this town. So besides there's like that picture, but when I started here, I also started as a case manager. So case managers, whenever a person needs to be transferred or needs care that can't be provided in this town, we're setting those families up. And I cannot tell you the types of patients that I've taken care of, that it is terrifying for an elderly couple who are some of the biggest utilizations of our services, for me to tell them they have to go to Tulsa. And that was on a transfer of care that we could not take care of. For a little old man who has glaucoma, who is used to the traffic light or lights in Wagoner, who's used to this pace, who's used to this traffic, and now on the daily, he's got to commute up the turnpike, incur the toll charges, incur the gas, and the terror that is Tulsa traffic just to go take care of their loved ones. We have families that have children. We can't always provide pediatric services. Those families are then stuck going to Tulsa, arranging daycare, paying for meals, paying for gas. If you send services outside of this town, it's going to hurt a lot of the people, especially ones like Haley mentioned that are within poverty brackets, which is a high number of percentages of this town. So the impact of the decision that you're making tonight is huge, and it's not just a decision to where, people can go to Tulsa and get their health care. I've had to have health care in Tulsa that my hospital couldn't provide, and I was a sick lady, and I sat in that waiting room inside of that Tulsa hospital for 9 hours before they even got back. When you start talking about taking the percentage and the flow of these people, and EMS can tell you, they don't just get to drop them off at that hospital. If that hospital's full, you guys get to sit with them. So when you're talking about taking a bus out of town, it's not just a quick trip up the road. It's they have to sit there with that patient until that
Usually in
patient's
line.
stabilized and gets in a room. You're talking hours. So that 3-bus thing is a huge decision point for you guys to be considering, because the people are going to be stuck there in a hallway on a gurney with EMS that entire time while they wait to get into a room. So heart attacks, blood, things that are higher levels of acuity are going to come ahead of time. Our residents and our resources are going to be stuck outside of the town.
Ms. Moore, I don't know if you'll know this or not, but I'm sure somebody out there will. What's our average wait time for our ER before you get back?
45 minutes.
I don't know that I've lived here my entire 33 years of life, and I don't think, Heather sees me. Becoming a politician will give you chest pain, and I don't think I've ever waited that long at that hospital. And I've telling you, I've waited in Muskogee for 14 hours one day.
Yeah.
We have the shortest wait time in the region of any hospital. Now, you can get busy there, and you can wait, but just the law averages about 45 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Would anyone else care to speak?
Hi, my name's Sue Morgan. I've been a resident here since 1979, give or take. A couple of years I was out with my ex-husband while he was in the Air Force. But I've been an employee here at the mental health facility for 2 years here. I've got kids that grew up in this system. I've got a great granddaughter that's in the school system right now. I've got 3 disabled siblings that they depend on this hospital. They depend on me to get them around. They have appointments. A brother that's military, he has to go to the VA. He has come out here to the ER and has benefited from all of this as well. I just think it would be a shame to the community and to the people if we didn't have it, because there's a lot of things that can happen and a lot of people that could have their lives in jeopardy if we weren't here doing what we do best, and that's taking care of y'all.
Sue, do you think you and your family would stay in Wagoner if this hospital closed?
I don't know. I definitely would have to look somewhere else to work. And like I said, I'm 67 years old. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy taking care of patients. I have found a new niche in mental health. So yeah, I would probably have to think about going elsewhere.
And I'm sorry if you said it, I'm sorry if I missed it. How long have you worked for the hospital, Sue?
I've worked for this hospital 2 years, and I absolutely love working in the mental health unit. I have gotten a lot of rewards working there. We've helped a lot of people. We've unfortunately hadn't helped a couple that we've had to send to jail for assault. But that's what we do, that's what we love, and that's why we're here. We don't want to lose this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Anyone else care to speak?
Jennifer Farmer, nurse practitioner in Wagoner for 20 years. Absolutely not prepared to speak tonight, but as a provider in the community for 20 years, I will tell you that this hospital is absolutely essential for our community. As a provider of family practice, we see people of all ranges, all insurances, and our hospital takes every insurance minus one, except they are treated in the emergency room. And I promise you, the 3 big hospitals in Tulsa don't, which is huge for Wagoner. So we're getting patients from outside the community for that reason, not just all the patients within the community. The other thing is transportation, like some of the others have mentioned. We have a lot of poverty in our town, elderly that don't have transportation, that do not want to drive out of town or are not able to drive out of town. And so having our facility here to do things such as simple outpatient labs or x-rays or MRIs or have the surgical procedure, those can be done here, and that is revenue for our community, but also the employees that are here. And so if you think about the 238 employees, they will lose their jobs. And not only that, of losing that for our community is losing revenue. And what are our patients and our families going to do when we need a stop to fix, or a life flight, or a place just to get a blood transfusion? I mean, just some simple things that would take hours upon hours that most people have experienced at the big hospitals. So I am not employed by the hospital. I don't make any money off the hospital, but I do refer to the hospital because that's what's best for our community, and it's best for our patients, and it's best for us.
I don't know if you remember this or not, Ms. Farmer, but roughly a little over 20 years ago, you felt on my stomach about 15 days before my 13th birthday, and I'd collapsed on the football field, and I believe you just got done with school, and you sent me to Wagoner Hospital. I've tried to think of this surgeon's name. I cannot remember it for the life of me. And you sent me to him. And that evening, he called my grandparents right about the time I got sick. And he said, I want him at the hospital tomorrow morning, and we're going to do an upper GI. So a lot of people in here knew of my grandma. And they do an upper GI, said take 30, 45 minutes. Well, I'm back there for a couple hours. She made her way back to the operating room, beating on the door, looking for me, and they told her to go back. I had diverticulitis that was fixing to pop. They said if I'd played in the football game the next day, I'd have died on the football field before they got my shoulder pads off. And if it wasn't for you and Wagoner Community Hospital, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. And that stories just like that are endless.
Yeah.
And I worked at the hospital. After I graduated nursing school, I worked on med surg all the way through my nurse practitioner program. So I learned my foundation there and saw many things over the years. And we have surgery. We have surgeons from outside facilities that come to Wagoner. And we want to continue to grow that, and specialists continue to grow those as well. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else care to speak? All right. Counselors, this vote does take 6 yeses. It's a majority of our governing body, and that includes me, and I cannot vote. Renee is not allowed to participate tonight because she is an employee of the hospital. I wish she could, but she can't. Shane had prior obligations. Another issue that we ran into is we received these loan documents from Blue Sky Bank yesterday at 4 o'clock. It is a stack. We found things in there that we do not agree with. We've since been in contact with Blue Sky Bank, and they're willing to take all those things out. I am terrified that if we lose this hospital, we will turn into a Hulbert. I'm worried that we lose Unarco. I'm worried we lose DMI, North American Heat Exchangers, because when these companies come to a town, they want to be close to an emergency room. If we lose this hospital, I'm worried that we're only going to be able to run EMS service in town. We will not be allowed to, we'll have to vote on it, of course, but I think we'll have to cut it back. Yeah, it's going to hurt our revenue with EMS. It's going to add a lot of wear and tear on our ambulances. We're going to have multiple times a day that we're getting called out for first responders from the fire department because we're going to have 3 ambulances out of town, and we may have 2 waiting in line and 1 en route back, or we're going to be doing a whole lot of mutual aid calls for EMS. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but when we call an ambulance from Coweta and they come over here and take somebody, they bill us that full bill because of the utility bill. We have to pay that. It's a huge difference than one of our ambulances taking someone to the hospital. So what we're looking at is we have a hair over a $1.4 million CD in Blue Sky. They will get 2 shop payments in time to pay this off within 6 months. Me and Laura have talked. We're very comfortable with doing this. The CD doesn't mature until August. As long as Ken's fine with this, because we'd actually talked about going a different route, but I think, Ken, would you see any problem with the council voting to waive competitive bidding and giving me and you the authority to sign off on the loan document
We don't have enough load storage compared to, it takes 7,
Takes 7?
yes. Takes 3/4.
Okay,
Two-thirds
I'm
for-
sorry, I'm sorry.
2/3 for the load.
I got
3/4 for
confused.
competitive. It's 3/4 of the governing body. There are 9 people on the governing body.
So then, we will have to take no action. The good thing is the hospital feels good about making payroll. And we're probably looking at scheduling another special meeting. Do we have any comments from the council?
Can we schedule this next week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we know the percentage on the CD that we get from the bank for interest?
Currently, it's 4.15%.
But the CD will still get the interest.
The city is not going to be harmed in any way on that CD. The interest will still go into the CD. Nothing in the CD will be touched other than allowing the hospital to add it to their loan.
And the great thing about it, the absolute best thing about doing the CD to me, is the hospital is going to pay 1% interest versus, what have you been paying quarterly?
Closer between 6 and 7 for one, and even more for another, so.
How long have we had the CD?
We've had it, I think it's a yearly CD that we re-up every year.
Been several years, it just renews.
And then you said 4%, so do you know what number that would be, the amount? Trying to justify the 345,000 we took before.
It gains quite a
With-
bit of interest monthly.
Mhm.
It's deposited into it. It's a compounding CD, so it's growing every month. And so the CD interest goes into that CD every month.
Okay.
And so,
So the issue isn't really the interest or anything. I guess I'll have questions on what do you mean. This is extremely different to me than what we did the last time. This is a line of credit that we're working on helping them get.
You talking
Not,
about the 380 the last time?
no, that was for payroll.
So this CD is acting as collateral, so they can get the
Right,
loan.
no, I get that.
And get this line of credit. That's all the CD is, just,
I was trying to see how much it grows.
right.
And then suggest as a fact that we give that back, the 345, that we didn't honor our obligation for putting a sports park where we told them we would 12 years ago. And then the interest on top of that. Because they have, I believe this has caused them to need to do this every year. It's been an annual thing, mortgage, moving money. And I think it starts here because everyone seems to, even Mr. Jamie Leopard, seems to say they didn't have that, they felt uncomfortable with that.
So you want to
I would like to look at different options on giving them back some of the funds that we took from them. For
and not giving them the line of credit?
They may not need as much of the line of credit.
They're still going to need at least $1 million line of credit. That's what they have operated on. Ms. Sharp, you want to weigh in on this?
Yeah, so again, what we talked about before is the hospital currently is getting about $1.7 million every quarter. But traditionally, what we've been doing every quarter is we would draw down on the line of credit of $1 million. So we, the other extra is what we use for our operations. But, so if you're saying, could the line of credit be less?
If you were given in return some of this that we took and didn't honor back, because everything's mortgaged.
Maybe for the one time, but the problem, I guess what I'm wanting
Is
to
that just to
express
keep
is
that
that
number up?
Well, what I'm saying is we renew it every quarter.
Could you
So,
throw that into it?
Are you talking about all in one quarter, or are you talking about something that's spread out over time? I mean, I don't know exactly what.
I'm just trying to find options.
This will give them 2 quarters.
Because we're sitting here with apparently money that we can move and.
That-
We took from you.
No, 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 no. We're not sitting here with money we can move. This is a reserve. This is if a tornado comes through, wipes out City Hall, wipes out all of our things, we can still make payroll. We can still buy equipment and wait on however long it takes for insurance to get back to us.
Do we know the reserve amount we need to keep?
I-
1.4?
It's actually, we have 3 CDs that total almost $2 million.
Is that kind of what we have to keep here?
Well, that's what's in Blue Sky. That's just what we have at Blue Sky. And I think our recommendation is like 10%. I would have to look it up. I think it's 10% of their operating.
Do you know, Laura, about how much we need? The-
Want to shoot for probably have at least 90 days. It would be good though to have 4 to 6 months.
Do you know how much a month is, roughly?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Well,
mean,
I don't know how you would know. You're talking about possibly having to buy equipment.
Now, these reserve funds too, also, if the city was to have like a bad year with revenue, sales tax goes down, plummets, or we have a supply chain increase real high, and we don't come up to par on our normal revenues, these reserves is also what would help us make budget for the next year. It's why I really don't know how to use those, but we need them. That's how we would balance.
I understand what you're saying, and in some way it is a good thing, but you're talking about at least 10 years ago, if not more. Because James Jennings is highlighted.
He's 12, yep, 12 years ago.
So, and we're still actively working, and quote me if I'm wrong, did they not loan us that money they gave it to us?
Gave it.
Okay, okay.
What was the amount of the money? I don't know.
345.
340.
350.
Something like that.
But that's been another great thing that I feel like that's one reason we've really stepped up to help the hospital whenever they needed it. I mean, we loaned them $380,000. Yes, ma'am. It sure is, and we gotta have that cooperation, or it will kill this town. And what you're saying may help for a very small amount of time, but if we give them a line of credit for 6 months, they could borrow 1.4 million, and then next week they could pay off 700,000, and then if they get hit again, they could borrow that back. So it's kind of a give and take, not just
Right.
this
Yeah,
one
yeah.
time.
But on top of that, we could probably make payments for that and return back for them for the first, in the contract, I would assume, first couple months to give some of it back so they don't keep digging into the same hole.
Well, I think if you wanted to do that, and I wouldn't really agree with it, but I think we would waive that loan we just gave them.
The 380.
But, exactly, we don't have that budgeted. I mean, we took that out of the general fund. It's not a terrible idea, and it's a kind gesture, but it's not getting us to where we need to be for the hospital. The hospital needs a line of credit.
I think that's all I got.
Was that all that you really explained in this paperwork? Page 3, I couldn't understand. I couldn't read what was scribbled on the side.
Those are just my notes to ask myself for questions, but just about the programs that we talked about earlier for swing bed and stuff like that. So I think that's, I mean, it should be pretty good.
For these contracts with the Cherokee Nation and so forth, are these brand new contracts that'll essentially bring brand new money into this town?
Lots.
For the mental ward only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
mental health.
Mental health is what.
Mental health services is a big part of what the hospital provides. And is a big source of revenue for the hospital, correct?
It has been for 30 years.
It's the biggest unit.
There's been some changes in the industry, and there's, it's gotten more competitive. We have competition now from the Department of Health and other agencies, state-funded agencies around us. And there's been more things that have popped up to provide services for people. It's taken a bite out of our census, if you will. But it's a 32-bed crisis stabilization unit. And when I came here for the first decade or more, we were at, the average day census of 28 in the background. And anytime we had a waiting list. So now, with all the changes that happened, our average day census now is probably low 20s. So I've got a capacity of about 10 beds. So this is fine. How can we use these 10 beds? And that's when we started the conversations with, what can we do with what we have and build on it. And we got into a conversation with the tribes about some of their patients. That's how this came together.
So just curious, and I'm guessing, because it's such a brand new contract, you probably hadn't had time to crunch the numbers, but roughly, how much more revenue would that bring to the hospital?
It depends on the daily census, and it's a patient day rate, and basically you get paid that as long as people are there.
Right.
So it's not.
I'm be going to Arden on Saturdays.
We get paid X amount of dollars no matter how long it takes for the hospital. So if they're, about eight patients in the hospital for
Get a better handle.
30 days, that's like $30,000.
Right.
It's a longer stay, they're longer stays to go through this program.
So, I mean, that's newfound money.
Sure.
We have had a couple of patients there already, greater than 30 days. We've had one 50 days, we've had one that's been there 2 months, a couple of them that's going up on over 2 months.
And you said you guys are really the only ones in the state that are doing this right now?
Ever.
The Cherokee.
Oh, no, the nation, okay.
Yeah, our liaison in Cherokee Nation tells us this is the first inpatient forensic unit in the country. Wow. So, I mean, how big could it get?
Well, and plus, we have 2 tribes under contract, and we're in talks with 3 more, correct? Okay.
Get that other third one on
Let me ask you this, since you have these contracts with these tribes, do you think at some point they would be able, they'd be willing to help us expand our mental health unit?
We've talked about that, and they haven't said no. Again, it's a process, and you kind of, get your critical mass of business, and you see that it's kind of pushing our capacity, and then, okay, we need more beds.
Right.
And then we determine how to do that, and where we do it, and all that. Can we do it together, and try to help us with that, so, it's kind of a good problem to have when we get to that point, but we're not there yet, but.
But they haven't said no and they're willing to listen.
Correct.
And the Cherokee Nation is the largest tribe, and that's the first contract we had, so that's good.
And we have, the hospital has 18 acres on Highway 69. We have 10 of that under contract for $280,000 that's supposed to close after the first of the year. So me and Jimmy have talked about this, and our hopes are to expand our mental health ward. I believe, look at it as an iceberg, the hospital is almost over the peak.
Amen.
The bank pulled the rug out from underneath their feet. If that hadn't happened, I firmly believe we would not be sitting here right now having this conversation. Everybody fine with no action, and we will try next week, but it may even have to roll over to the week after. That, with the hospital making this week's payroll, that buys us an additional 2 weeks to do this. Try to get Shane here.
I was gonna say, make sure we have
We can't have Renee, but,
well, I know
yeah,
that,
but,
make sure we have
yeah,
enough to
so,
do business.
Maybe I can,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of comments, and I just want the council to know that the healthcare industry is tough. And, I'm a member of the Oklahoma Hospital Association Board, And the Hospital Association has been presented with a report that kind of talks about the healthcare situation in Oklahoma. And 63% of non-urban rural hospitals in Oklahoma operate without a positive margin. And of course, we're one of those. So it can be done. It's not what you want to do. You want to, continually, grow your business and make changes and adjust to be able to have a positive margin. But that's the landscape that we're in. We're not out of the norm. Most hospitals have, lines of credit. And they, get into situations where they have to draw down on lines of credit, they pay it back, and then they get on down the road. And that's the mode we've been in. Everything really got tougher after the pandemic ended, because during the pandemic, all of our costs went up for labor, pharmaceuticals, supplies, and then when the pandemic went away, guess what? Those costs didn't come back down. That's the new reality. So the expense deck is higher. So, I think the thing that I wanted you to know, I know that's a lot of money that's written there, that we're kind of used to going through this and have been for a while. It's worked very beautifully. And I think the risk of having to, touch the CD money, which is like a second backup, is really nil, because the amount that we draw is typically about $1 million to meet our needs in a quarter. At the end of that quarter, our Medicaid supplemental payments total $1.7 million. So there's more than enough to pay back the line of credit, have a little extra, and get into the next quarter. So I just want you to understand that, because it's not like, we don't have the money, we don't see the money, we can make that. But we've been doing it. And at the time that the line of credit ended before it was fully paid up. So we just had no warning and no advance notice about that happening. And so we've been scrambling. I do want to thank Blue Sky Bank, for stepping up and working with, the Hospital Authority Board, the city leaders downtown, to try to put this deal together. But thank everybody, from the hospital that came out tonight, for those that spoke. But, it's just a tough business. But as everybody said, people have got to have health care, and they've got to get it closest to where they live. And that's our mission, and our board is committed to that. I think the city leadership is committed to that. And these are tough times. Everybody's having to figure out what works best for that hospital and that community. And so that's where we are. And we appreciate everybody's consideration, because we're committed to be here to serve our people.
Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in one of our meetings, you said this year, up until Thanksgiving, has been our best year since 2019, pre-COVID?
No, actually, it's kind of been, we had a lull in the first half of our fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts in October. So, of course, now we're in the new fiscal year. But this last fiscal year, we just had a lull in our business. And, from October until about March, the first 6 months of the year, almost everywhere you looked on our operating statistics, we were down, and down like 15, 20%. So we got all the providers together, and we said, hey, what's going on here? We got to figure out what's going on. And nobody could really put their finger on it. I would talk to other CEOs at other hospitals. It seemed like everybody was kind of down from the volumes were soft from previous periods. And I don't really know what to attribute it to, but we bounced back in the second half of the fiscal year. That's probably what you're talking about. And we were having stronger revenues by the end of September of the last fiscal year than we were having going into the fiscal year. So things rebounded. A lot of the things that we're talking about have contributed, to more revenue, the rural health clinic, the swing bed program, and now the tribal program. So, I mean, things are aligned and things are moving the right direction. It's just that we're still dependent on that line of credit. And we'd like to eventually get completely away from that. I like to always have it out there, because there's always rainy days, like the city's talking about. You got to plan for those things. But yeah, it's not like we're destitute for business. Last time I checked today, I think we had 25 patients in the hospital out there, and there's been days we've had over 40, and all those people would be somewhere else if we weren't there. So that's a lot of money.
Ms. Sharp, do you happen to know how much your utility bill is there?
On average.
Month?
Yes.
Yep. hospital closed, we'd lose that.
Yeah, and we've, we've already said, we typically would have already drawn on a new line of credit. We're a month, or exceeding a month out from not having it, so.
I know a lot of people go to the cafeteria to eat lunch. That cafeteria makes us sales tax. Yeah. Thank you all. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'm sorry we're shorthanded. I firmly believe we're going to figure this out, and we're going to make sure the city of Wagoner continues to have a hospital.
Thank you.
Item number 2 is adjournment.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 7 p.m.
Smoking in here, boy, it's hot.
It is hot. I started to wear a vest, and I'm glad I didn't.